Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Hashem Yeshua Hashem Kodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of JMS for the true leaders of Israel today. And salutations to all the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, who risk their lives and their freedom to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai, and the Lord's fully chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we're the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Akale, and I'm from the JMS Jamaica Kingston camp, and this video is about Revelation chapter 20 and the 1,000 years spoken about within it. All right, and this is based off of what I'm seeing right now, where the apostles and elders have responded to what the head of the IUIC, Bishop Nathaniel, has said regarding the 1,000 years and his interpretation of it within Revelation chapter 20. So the Spirit has jumped on me to tackle this as well, and so let's just dive into it. All right, to provide the true breakdown of what it is, because to my understanding, when I listened to just a while ago the Elder Apostle Kabar's video, the breakdown from Bishop Nathaniel, is that it's saying that after 1,000 years, when Yahushua returns to deliver the elect of the nation of Israel, that after 1,000 years of ruling with Yahushua, that the Edomites and the other heathen nations will return to do as the Elder Apostle Gabar said, a coup d'etat, right? And that's not going to happen. All right, there's no way for that to happen based off of what's written within the scriptures. All right, and I'll get that, but first I want to start with the Revelation chapter 20, because it talks about 1,000 years in two different ways. All right, so let's start. Revelation chapter 20 and verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. This angel is talking about Yahushai. The bottomless pit is talking about Europe. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. And this is talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. The Edomites have ruled 3 times. Okay? They ruled during the kingdom of the Greeks, where we were subject to them, Greek captivity. They ruled during the Roman Empire, the kingdom of the Romans, which is the Roman captivity, and they are ruling once again right now, which is the American captivity. Okay, so this right here in Revelation chapter 2, he was bound for 1,000 years after the Roman captivity, okay, that we faced. So they ruled as the Greeks, they ruled as the Romans, and that's when Yahushua came on the scene. And then there was a period of 1,000 years where they didn't rule, right? And even when you look at the words used to describe this individual or this nation, it says the dragon, the old serpent, coming back in that same spirit of deception, because that is the spirit of Esau, the spirit of deception. Right? In Job chapter 9 and verse 24, it says, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, if not wherein who is he? So he covered the faces of the judges, who are the Israelites, and he pushed his own ways and his own laws. Okay? And he's done that through great deception, by saying that he's the Lord's holy chosen people, which is his greatest deception of them all. Okay, and the devil, which that goes into the deceiver, and Satan, which is the adversary. okay, and bound him 1,000 years. So once again, bound him 1,000 years. The Roman Empire fell, and there was a period which was called, they call it the so-called Dark Ages in history. They call it the Byzantine Empire. This was the empire where a different group of people ruled, right? And when you look at the history, it was actually our people, right? You can Google the Russian icons, for example, and you can Google further information about that time. Over time, Yahweh Shemisha has revealed which people have ruled or did rule during that period, right? And we're able to see that by way of the images that have come out over time, right? So it says, verse 3, and cast him into the bottomless pit, which is Europe, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. So this has all happened already, right? So the Byzantine Empire / Dark Ages passed by, and then Esau came back into power, I would say in the fullness of it, in 1492, when three major things happened in 1492. Christopher Columbus, whose name is Cristobal Colon, he came over here to the Americas, right? Seeking, looking for the children of Israel. And even in the movie 1492, it says that they knew that people were over here because of Esdras, referring to the prophet Esdras that is found in the Apocrypha, right? First Esdras and second Esdras, right? And then they also did the expulsion of the Jews from Spain, right? Which those Jews were actually our people that were expelled. They either had to conform to what they were pushing then, which was Christianity. The Edomite way of life really is what it encompassed, or they would have to leave, right, as Jews. And many of them left and some of them stayed, all right? And then there was also let me get it real quick, right? And the third one was when this situation right here, as it says in January 2nd, Muhammad the 12th, last Moorish Emir of Granada, surrenders his city to the army of Ferdinand and Isabella. So Spain, they conquered the last remaining rulers of that time, of that Dark Ages, that Byzantine Empire, right? Which those Moors were our people as well, okay? So that was a period that took some time. It didn't just happen overnight. When you look at the history, when you really do some deep research into the history, you'll be able to see that slowly but surely, gradually, just like what's happening right now, rulership transitioned over time, okay? So yeah, man, that was that 1492, which is also known as their Renaissance period, that entire period of time, which was the rebirth. They call it the rebirth, their rebirth, because they came back into rulership, right? And so this is that little season that is talking about, and it's a little season because it's a rulership that isn't going to last forever. In the book of Job, it says that his bounds are appointed, that he cannot pass. I believe that's what Job chapter 5, let me see. Job chapter 5, no, bounds appointed. It's Job chapter 14 and verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass, right? So his kingdom has an expiry date. That's why it's called a little season, right? And we're literally in that little season at this very moment in time, okay, of prophecy, right? Because right now, Esau's kingdom is transitioning to being finished. Right now, we're seeing the translation from one kingdom to the next. As it says in the book of Second Esdras, for Jacob is the end of the Salakia, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And everything takes time. It's a transitionary period. All things take time. Okay, right now, we know that Esau, Edom's kingdom, is coming to an end due to biblical prophecy. When you look at the development of major biblical prophecy that's to come to pass, for example, the Mark of the Beast prophecy, which is the microchip, as well as the World War III prophecy, okay? We've seen the development of the ICBM missiles, because a part of Esau being taken out of power is that America, which is known as Babylon the Great in Revelation chapter 17, and Babylon in several other parts of the scriptures, is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire. So that technology has been developed as well. All right, so we're able to see the times, as it says, to measure the time diligently. All right, as we're watchmen of Yahweh Shemeshai, we watch and observe everything that's going on. So I can tell you with great confidence that this kingdom is coming to an end very soon. It's only a matter of time. All right, especially with that mark of the beast prophecy, which is that microchip. You see where it has developed for both the right hand and the forehead portion for it. Okay, so anyway, so Revelation chapter 1 to 3 is talking about that period, right? So then in Revelation chapter 4, it says, "And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Yahushua 1,000 years." So this period hasn't come as yet, but we're heading into this period very soon. All right, where the elect of the nation of Israel will be delivered, where the elect of the nation of Israel, some members, will be beheaded. We're heading into this. This hasn't happened, but it says that when Yahushua returns, that the elect shall rule, starting with 144,000, shall rule with Yahushua for 1,000 years. So there's a 1,000 years of rulership. But the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection, right? So the rest of the dead here is actually talking about the heathen nations, right? And it says that they shall not until the 1,000 years are finished. So not until that 1,000 years of hardcore slavery that these heathen nations will have to face. As it says in Revelation chapter 13 and verse 10, "He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity." Okay, so they're going to have to face this slavery. But after the 1,000 years, they shall live again. They shall still be tributaries unto the Israelites, but they're not going to be in the same kind of slavery that they were in for that 1,000 years, right? In Revelation chapter, not Revelation, Daniel chapter 7 and verse 12, it says, "As concerning the rest of the beasts," talking about the heathen, "they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time," right? So this is just a supporting precept. All right, their dominion was taken away, but their lives were prolonged for a season and a time, right? So they will, be given their own lands and they'll do whatever, but they'll still be tributaries and they'll still have to be subject to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shemeshai. All right, so now Revelation 20, verse 4 and 5, and then we go to verse 6. All right, "Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death," the second death is talking about death by thermonuclear fire. Okay, the first death was death by water, the flood. Okay, "hath no power, but they shall be priests of Yahweh and of Yahushua, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. All right, so from Revelation chapter 20 to 4 to 6, that's talking about another period separate from Revelation 20 to verse 3, right? And the scriptures isn't like a storybook where it's like in succession, right? There's some parts that it jumps. Okay, it jumps from place to place, arrow to arrow, that kind of thing, right? It's like that happens in like Esdras, Daniel, etc. And then there's some places where the history just goes in succession. All right, and to be able to discern that, you simply would have to have the Spirit of Yahweh Shemeshai working with you, which is actually a very great and major thing, to be able to discern such things. It's not something that's light at all. All right, so never feel too comfortable with knowing this information, even though we've known it for several years. Never feel too comfortable just knowing it, because it is a very great privilege to know it and to have the Spirit upon us to be able to discern. Okay, so anyway, verse 7 now, and it says, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. This is going back to that Revelation chapter 20 and verse 3. It's talking, that's the same thing, the same period. All right. And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. This is talking about the same thing that has happened already. Okay, that is happening now as well, right? Where Esau was loosed out of his prison, and then he went about to deceive the nations once again. All right, Gog and Magog gathered them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. So that's why I said it the way that I said it, because right here in Revelation chapter 20 and verse 8, the first portion up to, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, that has happened already, but the next part of it, talking about Gog and Magog, that's going into the World War III prophecy. Okay, yeah, so that's just how it works, man. Okay, Gog and Magog referring to the Russians as well. That's related to Revelation chapter 38. Gog and Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. All right, and they're referred to as Gog and Magog because they dwell in that land where Gog and Magog dwelt before. Okay, so that's what it is, man. We don't have to go much more into this, right? So that's just a distinction between these 1,000 years that is spoken about, right? Now in Daniel chapter 7, okay, it says this. Where is it at? Okay, so we go to Daniel chapter 7 and verse 13, and it says, and I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven. So the Son of Man is Yahushua. The clouds of heaven are those chariots, which in this world they call UFOs. And those chariots are the vehicles that the angels travel in, okay? And came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him, and there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. Serve him who? Yahushua. His dominion is an everlasting dominion. What does everlasting mean? Forever. Perpetuity, antiquity, forever. Okay? His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away. So Yahushua's rulership is forever, and it will not pass away. And his kingdom, that which shall not be destroyed, and his kingdom which shall not be destroyed, right? It's a kingdom that will last forever under the rulership of Yahushua, okay, under Yahweh Shemishai, right? And so there is no, the ideal or the breakdown of any nation coming back to, after the 1,000 years spoken about in the Revelation chapter 20, that when we're ruling with Yahushua, the 1,000 years will finish, and then these heathen nations are going to rise up again. No. Once Yahushua returns and the kingdom of Israel is established, then it will be established forever, right? And a part of that, okay, when Yahushua does return, is in the book of Isaiah chapter 2, where it says, I'll start at verse 1. The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. All nations, all right? Heathen nations, okay? And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord Yahweh, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord Yahweh from Jerusalem. So the rulership is going to be forever. The standard set is going to be forever. This is a part of the standard. And what this is saying is that the heathen will come onto the nation of Israel, all right, seeking to know and learn our ways, which is going to be something that is forever. You see? And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. And once again, our rulership will be forever, everlasting. So this will last forever, everlasting, where there will be no more war anymore. So there cannot be any nation rising up. All right, it's just not going to happen. That's not a part of biblical prophecy. And in regards to Esau, Edom, he has a judgment written for him after the 1,000 years, actually. All right, that they won't even exist anymore. Obadiah verse 18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. So the Lord Yahweh hath spoken it, that there shall not be any remaining of the nation of Esau. This is going to be after the 1,000 years, where he would have to serve his slavery. Okay? And in the book of, I think it's Jeremiah 14 and 20. Is it 14 and 21? No, hold on. It's Isaiah 14 and 21. All right, it says, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, and they are their fathers, not their birth father, but they are their fathers, as reincarnation is real. Okay, so you are your forefathers, yes. All right, and once again, it is not the father that came before you. Okay, so prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquities of their fathers. All right, so just to add to that, these same Edomites that you see today, these so-called white people that were doing all of the atrocities to our people during certain parts of our captivity, because we're yet this day still in our captivity, as it says in the book of Baruch. Those same people that you see today, these are the same spirits. These same Edomites that you see today, these are the same Edomite spirits that were doing those and committing those atrocities against us. You just keep that in mind when y'all sitting up here and y'all, doing what you do with them. Okay? You just remember that. Same people, same spirit, ain't nothing changed. Okay? And the friendliness is what I'm talking about. All right, that some of you have. And I'm not talking about those of you in the truth. I'm talking about those outside. All right, because, you have a set of our portion of our people that are very forgiving, okay, to this nation of people. But the Lord don't forgive them. And the Lord is going to bring severe judgment upon them. That they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. They will not exist anymore. And that's going to be after the 1,000 years. So it's not even going to be just this. So first of all, these nations rising up against us, that's not going to exist. And what's really going to happen is that Esau is going to be done away with, and the rest of these heathen nations, they'll get their portion of land, etc., but they'll still be tributaries unto us, and they'll still have to obey the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shemishah, but they're not going to be in the same kind of slavery that they was in for that 1,000 years that is to come. All right, so that all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemishah, Shalom.